But first, an exclusive Defenders investigation about a fight over rent between a young woman and uptown apartment complex. 30-year-old Kristen Oliver says she's been dealing with ongoing mold issues at the Quarterside luxury apartments on 7th Street.
And on top of that, she was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer last year. Now she's moving out of the apartment to get cancer treatment out of state. But she says the apartment complex is making her pay rent after she moves out.
NBC Charlotte Defender Alex Shabbat has been digging into this issue for several days now. He is live in Uptown tonight. Alex, she found more mold just this week.
That's right, Fred. She told us that mold was cleaned up just a few hours after we left her apartment. But now she's moving out to fight cancer, and she still owes for rent.
I'm just going to put the gloves on.
Her hands are full.
These are some cowboy boots.
Because a day in her shoes
Mold.
means fighting one battle in her home.
Mold all along the wall.
And another in her body.
I am a strong woman, and I don't mean to cry, but it has been a very, very hard year.
30-year-old Kristen Oliver was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer last year.
It's a sarcoma of the heart.
And after receiving treatment for that in 2018, she says she discovered this in her closet over the summer.
I've been breathing this mold for God knows how long.
A stark contrast from these photos in 2013 when she first moved into the Quarterside luxury apartments in Uptown.
I loved everything about it.
But in the following years, Oliver says she dealt with water leaks and ongoing mold issues.
You're wiping it up, and then it reoccurs.
After her cancer diagnosis, she says she regularly spent weeks visiting family in Chicago to reduce her exposure. Her doctor sending this letter saying with her compromised immune system, it's unsafe for her to be around mold. Through it all, Oliver says she continued paying $1,500 for rent every month.
I've never missed a rent payment.
But this month is different. She's now moving out for good, heading to Houston, Texas for further treatment.
I have to actually get a biopsy where they will actually cut me open.
But after learning about her out-of-state treatment, the apartment management told her she's still responsible for rent through December 24th, instead of through next February when the lease is up. Kristen says that isn't enough.
Literally asking because of my health. This is life or death.
When we reached out to the corporate office, the Connor Group sent us a statement reading in part, "When we became aware of Miss Oliver's health issues, we allowed her to break her lease early with a 60-day notice with 0 penalties."
I'm not asking for you to give me free rent. I've sat here and I've paid my rent month after month, but you're not helping me.
And Kristen's not the only person who's complained about the issue. One of her neighbors sent us these photos saying it shows mold in her unit as well.
Let's find out where the water source is coming from.
The company says after Kristen reported mold over the summer, the maintenance staff began treating the problem within 24 hours. But just this week, she told us she found more mold on her walls and her boots.
I don't want this on my hands.
Hours after our visit, she says the apartment management cleaned up again. However, not before she spent another night breathing it in.
It was me and the mold.
Her battle with mold in Charlotte is finally ending, but now the next fight in Houston begins.
In hopes to get better and beat this monster.
And Kristen leaves for Houston on Sunday. She says she doesn't know how long her treatment will last, but she's expecting it'll last for several months in the least. Live in Uptown, Alex Shabbat, NBC Charlotte.
Alex, thank you.
The state is investigating a complaint that a Raleigh hotel has a mold problem. An employee contacted CBS North Carolina claiming it is making people sick. Our Steve Spraja poured over years of inspection reports and has the latest.
A current and former employee at this hotel claimed the mold problem is making them sick. Today, we pulled inspection reports to find out what the health department found.
This is mold on a ceiling tile found in the hallway.
The man making those comments is a current employee who asked that we not use his name or show his face. He claims mold is pervasive in the hotel, and after making what he says were repeated attempts to get management to deal with it, he filed a complaint with the state.
When it became apparent that they weren't going to properly address the issue, I felt like someone needed to speak up about it. And so I contacted OSHA.
The State Labor Board confirms it received the complaint but says it can't talk about it until the case is closed. The hotel has been inspected regularly by Wake County's health department. We pulled results of the last 3 years' worth of inspections. There's no mention of mold except for in a 4th floor ice machine in March of 2012. But Health Inspector Joe Hill told us they can only do a visual inspection.
We can't do things like peel wallpaper back. I mean, because that would be defacing a hotel room. And we certainly don't turn over ceiling tiles or anything like that.
We wanted to know what the owner thought about this. We emailed, called, and even visited the hotel's corporate offices, but were unable to get a comment from the owner.
So I have your name and number, so I can make sure that he gets in. I'll let him know that you stop by, but he's not here right now.
And the health inspector we spoke with says even if she smells mildew, she can't report it. She can only report what she sees. Smell, she says, is not objective. I'm Steve Sprazier, CBS, North Carolina.
Thanks, Steve. And the owner of the Courtyard Marriott Summit Hospitality owns 10 hotels and 3 restaurants in the Triangle. CBS North Carolina has found no prior OSHA violations involving mold in any of those.
For business or pleasure, where you stay can make all the difference. So you check hotel websites and online reviews to find the perfect place. Well, tonight a tri-state whistleblower was so disgusted by the rooms she was letting families stay in that she called 9 on Your Side to send a warning to any family that stays in a particular hotel. Investigative reporter Jason Law went looking for answers, checking out a room of his own.
Yeah, Tanya, this hotel worker said she couldn't take it anymore, so she took her cell phone and went from room to room and recorded video of everything she saw. Well, we wanted to see for ourselves how bad the problem was, so I checked out a room here at the Days Inn off of Ridge Road, and what I saw wasn't pretty.
At Days Inn, here I am an employee.
Talina Perry is fed up.
I feel like if you run a hotel, you're responsible for the safety of these people. This is Days Inn room.
That need for responsibility is why Perry said she recorded cell phone video inside the Days Inn off of Ridge Road in Columbia Township, and why she says she brought that video to 9 on Your Side.
At the end of the day, people should really know what's going on. I mean, I feel like they shouldn't be open at all if they cannot get it together.
She recorded bugs on the walls and on the food, burn marks and stains on the bed, and mold. Lots of mold.
Full of mold. Mold growing in the picture frame. He refused to do anything about the mold.
Talina is referring to her boss and the hotel's owner, Sam Patel. In August, Talina called the Hamilton County Public Health Department to report on the sorry conditions.
They continue to check families into these rooms. I don't like that. You know, me knowing at the front desk, if I check a family in, they have kids, they have babies, and they go in these rooms and they not clean.
I pulled the health department records and found much more than just Perry's complaints. The records show last month the owner briefly closed the kitchen after inspectors found an active rodent infestation. Inspectors also found several problems with mold and garbage left under furniture and beds. On August 27th, the health department determined the hotel was in significant violation of health codes. I wanted to see what it looked like myself, so last week we checked out a suite for $115. Then I asked Gary Keller and Von Perkins to come in and take a look. Their company, Disaster Services, deals in mold and water damage. And it didn't take them long to find something that grossed all of us out.
Now here on this carpet, this is mold right here. This is interesting. Do you see this?
Gary found a patch of green, fuzzy mold growing under the sofa.
But this is just neglect here.
Vaughn later discovered some in the shower.
Spots up here where there's mold starting to grow.
We also found hair extensions and other pieces of garbage scattered throughout this suite. Gary recommends when you check into a room, go directly to the windows, the AC unit, the sink, shower, and toilet, and then the corners of the bedroom. You're looking for water stains and mold growth. If you can't see it, you may be able to smell it. That's when Gary says you ask for a new room or go to a new hotel altogether. As for Talina, she says she has a new job, and she's relieved.
I mean, I have a conscience at the end of the day.
Just this afternoon, a lawyer representing the owners of this Days Inn referred to Talina Perry as a disgruntled employee with an axe to grind. We did talk with the owners themselves. They said they're aware there have been issues here at this hotel in the past, but they're working very hard right now to get everything here up to snuff. We're live in Columbia Township. Jason Law, 9 on Your Side.
Valley women say that their children's health is at risk living in this apartment building right here near Nellis and Cheyenne. It's full of mold, and they say their management isn't doing enough to fix it. And just take a look right here at some of this you see right behind me. This is some of the most disgusting mold that we have ever seen. So when you ask, we investigate. Contact 13 investigative reporter Stephanie Zeppelin is getting results tonight.
Kimberly says ever since they all moved in, they've had work order after work order, and nothing's getting fixed. But what worries her most is the mold problem. These pictures show what Benicia and Kimberly found when they moved into their apartment. Dark-colored mold growing in their new home.
We looked down in the bathroom door, and I kept seeing, like, it looked like something was growing on the door.
They said they called many times and submitted work orders to have someone do something about the mold.
3 weeks after we moved in, and all they did was came, wipe it off, and that was it.
But now the mold is back, and they're worried about the impact it could have on their kids' health. Benicia says 1-year-old King already has breathing problems.
Does it take one of us to have to die for y'all to get a clue like this is something serious? Like, because that's black mold. That's not no green mold, that's black mold.
And they all think the cause of the mold is the unit directly below theirs. No one lives here right now, and you can see why, with dark mold crawling up the walls, visible through the windows.
I was like, well, if it's downstairs and it's coming up, it's inside the wood. It's not outside the wood.
We went to the management at Liberty Village Apartments. They did not seem to have heard about the issue until we told them. But they promised they would move Kimberly and Benicia to a new unit. We'll make sure that happens. Stephanie Zeppelin, 13 Action News.